Hello guys, how you all doing? Welcome back, welcome all. So our today's reaction says story time. He rejected me because I told him I had herpes. Guys, let's get to it.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Little car action right now. So today I figured I'd talk about, I want to do like a story time. I wanted to talk about the, couple instances when I actually got rejected when I disclosed my herpes status to someone. Because it has happened. I want to say it still happens today, so to speak. If a guy, not every guy is going to be down with the fact that I have herpes. So guys are likely still rejecting me to this day. I'm just not as aware of it because it doesn't hit the same as it used to back when, I was initially diagnosed. So I wanted to talk about that today because I'm sure that's a lot of people's reality. Side note, I am in the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A. Let's just ignore that right now. But until I have to order, which is next. But yeah, let's hop right into it, okay? I got diagnosed in 2018 and I had just got out of this kind of fling with this guy that I met on Instagram. And so I was single, and so I was still open to dating people, but now that I had herpes, I just felt like there wasn't an option. I wasn't able to, right? Yeah, I just felt like there wasn't an opportunity to do that anymore, or how was I going to do that? Now that I can't just talk to someone, get to know them, I can't just message somebody, we can't just go back and forth, keep it cute, flirt, things like that, because, now I have herpes or whatever. Hold on just a second. Okay, y'all, so I wanted to date, but I just felt like it couldn't be like it used to be, like easy, so to speak. A guy likes me, I like them, or we just loosely chatting in the DMs or in person. I meet somebody out or whatever. Oh my God. Now I have this thing I have to tell them. I can't just like somebody. I just felt like it was, so much more complicated now that I was diagnosed with herpes or whatever. And to a degree it was, because it made me feel less confident and less secure in myself. And so that actually showed when it came to dating people. Not initially, but hey, week 1, week 2, 3 weeks in, I started feeling like, oh my God, I got to tell this person this. If I don't, it's like I'm keeping something from them. I just felt this like guilt start to eat me away. Like I was literally keeping this big bad secret from somebody. And so that would be the reason why I would tell. Like that would eventually be the reason why I finally just started to say, hey, I need to tell you something. And I need to tell you something was that, hey, I have herpes or whatever. But in the beginning, the disclosures, how I used to disclose was I used to, just reach the point to where I was like physically ill, to where I felt like I could no longer keep this secret from them. Whether we had only been talking a few days, a few weeks, sometimes, a month or so, I would reach that point. Then I would reach the point to where I was like, but how am I going to say it? Because I actually felt sick saying the word. I couldn't even bring the word herpes out of my mouth for a long time. And so when it came to telling somebody I had it, oftentimes I would be crying. I would be saying things like, I understand if you don't want to talk to me no more. I would just be, my energy would be totally deflated and defeated. Yes. Thank you. My energy would be totally deflated and defeated, and it would come across when I was telling somebody this information. And so there was a guy that I had met on Hinge, I think, back in my dating apps, back when I was in these dating app streets. I met him on Hinge, and conversation, of course, was pretty immediate. Connection was pretty, thank you. The communication was back and forth, very steady, very, healthy. Thank you. But, we had transitioned. Of course, we were talking on the phone at this point. I think we had seen each other out a few times. We had gone on a few, dates to get to know each other. Still kind of casual pace, but I reached that point of like, oh my God, I have to tell this person something. I can't go another day. I can't go another second. And so I remember, we were talking on the phone, and I was on the way to work, and I was just like, I have to tell you something. And thank you. I have to tell you something. And he could tell by my tone, he could tell by the nervousness in my voice, because I had been confident or just normal, so to speak. Our communication had been normal up until that point, but when it was time for me to have to tell him something, it turned into me kind of just being nervous, or just my voice was shaking. He was literally like, Amber, what's up? And I was just like, I was dating this guy, met on Instagram, we had a little situation, and ultimately now, I have herpes. So I just kind of said it like that. And, there wasn't an immediate like, like nothing like that, but I could.
This is not over the phone conversation. She would have waited to maybe like invite him over or go on a date with him and tell him face to face, not telling him over the phone. There's some situation you don't disclose over the phone. You would have loved to watch his reaction while telling him and see the feedback.
It was probably kind of like shocking news to him. I could also tell that I was probably the first person who's ever, told him that they had an STD, like probably in a romantic capacity. And from there, the energy kind of went like this.
Well,
y'all see the decline?
Because
it was less phone calls, less initiation on his part, and more of, kind of, he gave me friend zone energy. It kind of was like I was placed in the friend zone. So I would consider that a rejection. Somebody that I liked and was interested in, and I felt like the energy was mutual for a long, up until that point. And then I told him that I had herpes, and then the energy totally changed. So I consider that to be, him rejecting me because of it. Him no longer being interested in me because of it. And so I did cry when I was disclosing to him. I do remember that. And after, in the days and weeks after, when I felt like his energy changed, of course I blamed it on the herpes. Of course I thought it was because I had herpes. Like, it was the herpes fault, right? Now I know that anytime somebody rejects you, it's a form of protection. Anytime, for any reason, whether it's your herpes, whether it's your amount of kids you got, whether it's how much money you make.
Don't blame the herpes. Blame it on yourself, to be honest. You caused it.
Or don't make, whether it's because of where you live, what you do, who you are, for any reason, any other virus that you may have, any other ailments, any other set of circumstances. Ultimately, if a person switches up on you, that is your protection. Now, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. That doesn't mean that they don't deserve to have a happy, healthy life and do their thing. It just simply means that that person is not for you. And so back in my early stages of being diagnosed, I took everything personal. I took the rejection personal. I hated myself. I hated anybody who rejected me. I hated the fact that I had herpes. It was just like a whole bunch of negativity. And so, but I also think that the way I disclosed was negative. I also think that, I felt negatively about it, right? I feel like my negative disclosures, when people when I was rejected, that it actually affected me, it was more so because I still felt some type of way about myself. Again, fast forward to now in 2023, if a person rejects me because I have herpes, or, decides that they don't want to entertain me in a romantic capacity, it doesn't even affect me in the same way, because I've accepted myself and the fact that I have it. So another person's opinion about me and the fact that I have herpes and them not wanting to be with me because I have it, it doesn't matter, really. It doesn't matter. God, I hope y'all can see me. It doesn't matter. So, like it did back in the day when I valued external validation.
That's the spirit.
So that was kind of like a rejection where I kind of was friend zoned, right? The energy just declined steadily over time to the point to where I just knew what was up. I don't even know if we had any conversation about it, like kind of like a closing conversation, because to be honest, him and I are still friends to this day, like truly platonic friends. But if I would have just been mad at him and hated his guts because his energy changed, I would have possibly missed out on a business partner and a friend. So I guess there's a lesson in that. Like, not all rejection has to be malicious. Not all rejection has to be like, oh, they're a terrible person if they don't want to be with me because I have herpes. Like, no, it just is what it is. disclosure,
Right.
you know,
Right.
it should be a conversation where both of y'all are talking about your STD history, your sexual health and history. It shouldn't just be I have something to tell you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, both of y'all need to be coming forth with some information. Just because you have herpes and
I wish everybody has this kind of mindset. They will cop so many STDs. When you understand your health history and you communicate to your partner about it, for the persons to take preventive measure, like there won't be any problem in the world. People will protect themselves better. But when you don't disclose, you're hiding it. Your mission is to transmit it to everybody as much as you can. It's wrong. I respect her for being outspoken about this. It's not everybody that is brave enough to talk about it the way she's going about it. That's very, very courageous of her.
you have to tell somebody you have it. Doesn't mean you don't want to know if they have something. When's the last time they tested positive for something? When's the last time they've been tested, period? All of these things you are well within your rights to know. And sometimes we sleep on ourselves. Sometimes we forget who we are. Sometimes we're just so willing and ready and wanting to be chose by somebody, anybody, that we'll even look aside for our own, personal health and safety. You need to be asking questions as well. While you're disclosing and letting somebody know that you have herpes, you need to also be asking, hey, when's the last time you've been tested? Have you ever had a herpes test? And if the person that you're asking gets all weirded out and isn't feeling it, then you need to question that in itself. Red flag, literally red flag, because we are grown. It is 2023. There's too much going on out here for us not to be talking about these things. Oh, you want to sleep with me? You want to see me naked? You want to do this and do that to me? But when I start to ask you, when's the last time you've been tested? Now the energy changed. All right, keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Because I'm out of here. Because, we got to do better. So, and there have been other times, where, I've told guys, and again,
Much love.
I was just met with stagnant energy. And it used to really bother me. But I quickly noticed that because of how bothered I got during rejections, because of how bothered I would get when someone's energy would change towards me because I had herpes, I quickly realized, man, I need to get out of the dating game. I need to take a few steps back and chill and actually figure this out for myself. So when someone says they don't want me, it doesn't hurt my feelings in the same way. It doesn't make me feel so bad, so low, so down. So I learned my lesson pretty quick. And a lot of times, we hard-headed out here. We want to try to date somebody when we're not ready. We want to try to date somebody, rejects us, and then the whole world's over, and it's my herpes, and I hate myself, and I hate my life. And then we find ourselves settling or getting on sites like Positive Singles or saying that I'm only going to date somebody who has herpes so I don't have to worry about disclosing, so I don't have to worry about rejection. Then we start doing all these unhealthy habits for ourselves when we should just spend time working on ourselves. So if you've been rejected by, for having herpes, I feel you've been there, done that. If you've been rejected and you feel like you won't have an opportunity to date or you won't have the dating life that you truly desire, that's a lie from the pit of hell. Spend time working on yourself. Go back to the drawing board. Ask yourself the questions. Have the hard conversations with yourself and realize that it's not your herpes that's making you really feel that way, or the rejection of your herpes. Even if it's the rejection of another person, deal with that. Deal with why someone's rejection of you makes you feel so low and less than. Because, these are the conversations I had to have with myself. So, little story time was kind of all over the place. I'm in the car, hustling and bustling. But yeah, I just want to tell y'all, rejection has happened to me, is happening, will happen. Who gives a rat's ass, right? As long as you accept yourself. So, I'm at my destination. I'm about to upload this video. I love y'all. Get into the comments. And this is a safe space. Share your story. I hope this video blessed somebody. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Amber, for this video. You have my love. You have my respect. You have my love. It takes someone of courage someone that has so much love to give, to come out in an open, to create awareness as this. She has my respect. It took it to be rejected. It took it to have one or two you are going through. It's okay. It's part of life. Then what you should be after is how you handle it. How you handle it is what really, really matters. Guys, hope you're able to learn one or two from this video. I'd like to have your opinion in the comment section. See you on the next one. Support your girl by watching, liking, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Be at peace with yourself and with all mankind. Bye bye.